Welcome to the INTG Food and Society course. In this first unit, we'll be exploring the question, why do we eat what we eat? The background for the Unit 1 work is focusing on the scientific method. So I'm just going to go over some of the basics of the scientific method, and I'll talk about ways that you'll be using the scientific method throughout this first part of the course. The steps of the scientific method include developing a question or identifying a problem, conducting some observations and finding some background research, formulating a hypothesis, conducting an experiment to test that hypothesis, collecting and analyzing the results of the experiment, and develop a conclusion to combine your data results with your hypothesis. First part of the scientific method, develop a question or problem that can be solved through experimentation. The research question for this unit and for your group science experiment project has already been chosen for you. And that question is, why do we choose certain foods to eat? When you think about this question, look around in your day-to-day life. This will help you with the next part of the scientific method, which is to conduct observations and research. So, what do you see? What impacts your food choices? Also, what are some of the theories discussed in the readings for this course? Next, you can use some of that information that you've gathered to help determine a hypothesis. A hypothesis will help you predict a possible answer to the problem or question. For example, if a person is on a limited income, then they choose foods based on cost. This hypothesis is something that you can test through an experiment. To conduct an experiment, you need to develop a procedure to test that hypothesis. So in this process, you're going to determine what materials you will need and if you will need participants for your experiment. In this example, using the example of income, we could survey a group of people from Bucks County to find out how much they earn and how much they spend on food. We will need a group of people and we'll need to collect some receipts as proof as to what they spend on food. Now that we've determined what we're going to study, we need to go out and gather the data. So you would go out, find a group of participants, make sure that you find out their age, their average income level, and other characteristics to help put a unique identity on this group. So are they students? What's their age range? Do they all live in a certain area? Those sorts of demographic questions are questions you'll want to ask. Then make sure that you collect their grocery and restaurant receipts for a week. That way you'll have the evidence to use when you go forward and analyze your results. Once you look at how much they spend per week and what they make on average, you can draw some conclusions. These conclusions will either support or reject your hypothesis. Also, it will allow your group to take a look at what you did and make some predictions for the future as to how your experiment could be changed or what other types of information had an impact on your findings. So let's say that we collected these receipts, got the average salary, and we find that people on average that have a lower salary spend less on food per week than those with a higher salary. We want to keep in mind, like I said, some other factors. So for the future, we could also take a look at the food shopping behaviors among people in various income levels, because where they purchase their food also impacts how much they spend on that food. If you have any questions, you can contact me, Jackie Fritz. You can email me in the online course space, or you can email me through my Bucks email address. It's fritzja@bucks.edu. You can call my office phone at 215-968-8056, or you can call to schedule an appointment. My office is in the library building on the bottom floor in room 115A.